Now, welcome to Worldchefs podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar Fredriksson. You're listening to World on a Plate, and it's a pleasure to have with me today Chef Shonah Chalmers, who is Worldchefs' newly appointed Feed the Planet chair. Chef Shonah is an experienced professor in the culinary education industry. She's been teaching at Humber College in Toronto since 2010. Amongst her many, many skills in teaching, catering, restaurant management, food and beverage, and so much more, Shona is also an advocate for sustainability and recognized for her expertise and commitment to sustainable food. And in addition, let me breathe. In addition to this role, she also serves as the president of Culinary Federation of Toronto, as if she didn't have enough to do. So we have a very busy woman here, and as they say, you want something done, find a busy person. So I
That's right.
welcome Shona, and thank you for joining us in your busy schedule.
Thank you so much, Ragnar. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to share with you today.
Yeah, and how are you doing? How was Toronto today? Is it's all frozen still?
Yeah, it's quite frozen. It's about -17 and a little bit icy, but there's a sun coming out today, and that's nice.
Wonderful,
So we'll get up to a high of -4, so that's pretty balmy warm here.
wonderful, crispy, fresh.
Yes.
Hey, just before we dive in, I just want to congratulate you again for your appointment as the chair, and also congratulations for the great webinar we saw yesterday
Yeah,
with
thank you.
Beaver.
It was so much fun and so informative. Barton Seaver, amazing advocate for sustainable seafood, and really shared so much with our webcast viewers.
It was really interesting, and so if people want to get more details, then can go on our website. We have all the
Yeah,
sustainability around the world webinars. This is the first of the year, and you'll be doing a series of them in the months to
yeah,
come. Can't wait.
yeah.
But anyway, so you are now the new chair, but you've been involved
Yes.
with Feed the Planet since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can explain to our listeners who have not been following what is Feed the Planet, and you know what, how have you seen it been evolving since you started?
So Feed the Planet is a committee that works sort of in tandem with all the other committees within World Chef. You can't have sustainability without having everyone else, I think. That's the education or competition. Like we are partnered with all parts of the culinary world. I've seen a lot of changes from when I first started in 2016. We were sort of doing the curriculum, which is a big part of what we do, sharing curriculum about sustainability in a sort of Word document method. And then Chris and I, our previous chair and now past chair, had done videos, which was amazing. So the two of us got together and did videos to help make it come alive a little bit more, this curriculum on sustainability for professionals. And then it went into the Culinary Academy. So then it became more accessible. So the progression of the curriculum has really changed from sort of a chalk and talk to something that you can see and get at your own pace. And now we have lots of deliverables, and we've trained so many more trainers now that it's happening globally exponentially in numbers, which is fabulous. Another part of what we do is the Like a Chef program, and that was really in his infancy when I first came on. Curitiba and a few other places had it. Now we've got it in 8 different places globally, and we're looking to other ones to start partnering with them. Along with Electrolux Foundation, our partners in ISIC, we also developed Food Heroes, which I so love, right? I helped grow this and start it from its beginnings. Back when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing in sustainability. So the fear is always, am I going to know enough? Can I be enough to be a part of this committee? And yes, you can, because you already have the skills. You just don't know how to articulate them. So we created this Food Heroes program to teach young people about sustainable food choices and locally when they're starting to take autonomy on their own food. This is when you can start to influence how they eat and what they're eating and what their choices are to be more sustainable. And I mean, it's very multifaceted, but it's all focused on the same thing in creating a more sustainable food service industry
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
in a nutshell, and you know, it's true when you mentioned it, we started 2016. Well, you're from the sort of almost the beginning. I think Feed the Planet started really kicked off in 2015, and with Chris and then you on board as vice chairman. And it's amazing the growth and the figures that we've seen, the impact really been yeah, it's
It's gone exponential. It's really amazing. You don't believe it's changing until you start to actually mark and see what those numbers are looking like, right?
Yeah, it's like a snowball effect. I think what are we like sustainability education for chefs now that is online?
Yeah.
We're reaching 15,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Okay.
mean, the trainers are growing as well, which is really what will grow. And I mean, I'd love to talk more about that after, but we'll really grow how we can have more people understanding about sustainability and food service by having more people who are training it and sharing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we're now delivering. So I mean, it was a real game changer when we put the sustainability education online. So now people can
Yes.
take it by
At
themselves.
their own pace. Yeah. At their own pace was a really big thing because a lot of people couldn't make the timings and working out, as you know, you being in Paris right now and me being in Toronto, finding a timing that works for everyone isn't always, available to everybody. So this makes it accessible. If you have a computer, if you have internet access, you can get online and you can educate yourself on sustainability, which is fabulous. And the curriculum itself has grown from a certain number of modules. Now we're up to 8 modules. And I mean, it's ever growing because the world of sustainability is ever changing too.
That's right. That's right. But I mean, and yeah, you said it makes it so more accessible because previously we were mostly trying to push it into culinary schools, with
Yes,
challenges that you know, but still it's open for culinary schools, right?
yes.
Adapted.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see across Canada. We were the only one for so long. We are no longer the only. We've got a half dozen or so across Canada, which is fabulous. I kept waving the flag until people started to listen, and
Yeah.
now they're doing it and they're loving it. And the online access for people, either in schools or chef professionals, makes it so much more, like I said, accessible and easy to get at when you can, right? And learn it. A lot of my students, even if they're in my course, they're taking the online module as well to reinforce it. They're like, I'm learning it twice. So it's great.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And so great that we managed to get into the education system. It can take quite a long time.
It can. I trust me, I know. Just to change a name or a title at times, it's usually an 18-month process. So to get in there and really have it woven through the program is phenomenal for our students.
Yeah, yeah. But I know, like in addition, a lot of our members they come from big corporates, big hotel chains, and they have also the opportunity to adapt the program, become train
Yeah.
their own staff.
Why wouldn't you have an ambassador of sustainability within your business? This is going to make your business look better, more sustainable. Customers are going to be happier hearing that you are doing sustainable efforts. Your team will be more engaged knowing they're doing things for the better in food service. So it's win-win. You just need one person to wave the flag and be
Mm.
that person for being the ambassador or trainer in sustainability, right?
No, precisely, precisely. No, yeah, it's a great program and actually has won recently has won
Yeah,
international awards. So
yeah,
congratulations to the whole
yeah.
team.
Yeah,
Really,
the whole team was so excited when we heard all this. So
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean,
great to be
working
acknowledged.
with Electrolux Food Foundations, and
Mhm.
they put so much effort into this and so
Yeah.
much their own
Yeah,
resources.
their support has been unbelievable. Working with them has really opened up doors for what we can do for growing this curriculum and what we do as a committee as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's been a great journey. But another one we mentioned, we might actually explain a little bit more to the audience, is Like a Chef, the
Like a chef,
life-changing
yeah,
program.
it
And the
is.
Electrolux Food
And
Foundation has been so instrumental.
integral. They've been integral in the Like a Chef. So this program, if you picture in a place where there's someone who might not have possibilities for getting an education or a way to get skills to get out of an impoverished way, or somewhere where they're unsafe, or in an area where they might not have a lot, this is a program that has been instituted, like say somewhere in Poland. They're doing a fabulous job, and they are training people who don't have the opportunity to go to school or get into a trade, and training them in the culinary field over usually an 8-week program. And they do all the basic culinary skills, and they help them get into the industry and either off the streets or out of an unsafe area, or if they're in something of abuse, it puts them in a place where they have the strength and the community, which is really the big thing, that they create a sense of community with other people who are in the same sort of way and get out into the world. Some of them do their own catering, like down in St. Lucia, we have one. Jordan's doing an amazing job down there, and they're getting people to start their own catering business. But now they have the skills of what business plan looks like and what food costing looks like and how to safely handle food. Because a lot of these people, they know how to cook and they're doing their own style, but they're not knowing how the business looks and how to get into the industry. So this Like a Chef program has structured places where we have local trainers and chefs from that area and people who will come in and help teach them how to do it in a professional style kitchen. They are not giant kitchens quite often. They're a little bit smaller, but it enables them to understand the skills that they need to get into this industry. And it sets them on their path to creating a new life for themselves, which, I mean, we're changing lives into the food industry, which is phenomenal.
That's right. And how many centers do you have? How many
I believe
people?
it's 8 right now. We are working on another one. Argentina is just starting up, and their program, I went through it, looks phenomenal. So, Electrolux Foundation and ourselves with Worldchefs, we're really partnering up to make sure that it has everything it needs and supporting them in what they have and that they understand what the structure is. So, it's not just everyone everywhere, it's really taking methodical steps and opening places that are in need and that are supported well, and that the students that are in the program will be able to be successful in getting into the industry or starting their own places.
Yeah,
So,
that's really amazing the way the
yeah.
program has been you can duplicate it. We can transport it to other
Yes,
locations in other countries. It's such a global initiative.
it
Uh,
is. It is.
and
And I mean, I always say, if you're looking for, some way to be a part of what we do in Like a Chef, most communities have something that are training people, or in a food bank or in something where they're training people. Maybe we can support you with some tools and information and pieces like that to help them be more successful in actually getting into the industry. So they're not just training one part of the skill, they're learning about the whole industry as well. And we layer that with a sustainability mind of food as well. So they're leaving with the most current knowledge in food, which is fabulous.
yeah, so if like people are listening there and thinking, what can I do in my community? Definitely,
Yeah,
it is need everywhere, whether it's
yeah,
in our Western world, in all societies, is
yeah.
really a bridge that our industry can gap between poverty, giving
Yeah.
people education, and then livelihood.
Yeah,
It's
you don't have to look far. I mean, I can go downtown Toronto and there's places that are training people in Ottawa, like in our own province here in Ontario. There's lots of places that are doing this. This is where you can be a part and affect change when you're a chef, right? You can say, "Can I come in? Can I help train some of your people? Can we do something?" And let us know, right? Speak to us at Feed the Planet and we can help facilitate. We can give you sort of a curriculum guideline if you don't have that, or help cater what you're doing so that it helps get them out into the industry and be acknowledged as people who've been trained professionally, right?
yeah, yeah. Because what is usually the challenge when we want to open up a new center? The challenge, what we need kitchen, we need trainers.
Finding a space, yeah.
Mm,
Finding a space is always hard, but if a space exists already and it's happening, then you've got the biggest part of the hurdle covered, right? So it's moving on to how can I facilitate having more people come through? How can we share this so people will know it's here? How will they know they'll be safe, and creating that sense of community? And that can happen with, I mean, Electrolux Foundation and ourselves can help facilitate that quite
that's
readily.
right. We have like a ready-made training program, really key
Mhm.
solution for the training program. So yeah, it all happens in collaboration, doesn't it? Really, it's always about opening to new collaborators, to new partners, and do things
It
together.
is.
Otherwise, we don't get
Yeah.
anywhere.
I said to a student yesterday, she's in second year, she's done baking and she's done culinary. And she says, I can't see why my baking shop isn't opening. I said, well, who are you collaborating with? If you're not collaborating right now with someone in the industry, there's no one there to help lift you up and you lift them up.
Mm,
You need that. In these times, we all need a helping hand. And that's from Like a Chef to your own business, right? So.
that's right. And then there's the last program you mentioned, which actually anybody can participate in,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's the
my
Food
favorite. So
Heroes.
I helped develop the Food Heroes. It's phenomenal. So that program is already set. You have everything you need, all the toolkit is there, the learning materials are there, and you're like, well, I'm not a teacher, but you're a chef and you know about food, and all you have to do, you can talk to your nieces and nephews, you could talk to your local cricket team, you could talk to any kids that are of the age sort of 7 to 12-ish. You can go a little younger, a little older, but when they start to have autonomy and they start to make their own decisions on food, that's when you want to talk to them about, how do I make better choices? What does my plate look like? And how do I become a food hero? So it just gives them a perspective of, what is better food? Does it look more nutritious? Does it have more vegetables? Is it more local? How can I waste less food? What steps can I do to help my family? And then they bring this information home to their family, and then you're affecting change in a big way, because you're not just talking to that one young person, you're talking to their whole family, and they're going to tell everybody when they get home, and they will become the ambassadors of change at a very young age. And this is what we need to really make a real movement happen. So,
Absolutely. That's the power of the white jacket, to be able to have that
yes.
impact on the younger generation and change consumer behavior for good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, chefs are able to do this, and there isn't a chef who I know who wouldn't be able to do this, because I've had chefs come with me when I've delivered it, and they're like, oh, I could do this. I'm like, I know. So maybe find someone who's doing it in your area, or watch.
Mm.
There's some videos that are on it as well if you're not secure in yourself in delivering it. But it has step by step broken out like in 10-minute increments. It gives you activities to do based on their age, what you can bring. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want. It could be 45 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. Going to local schools, if you can get in, that is your best bet, because then once you're in, the teachers love it. It gives them a diversified curriculum that is something they want to speak to. But when they see the chef cook come in, they really focus, they really listen. It's so
Mm.
much fun. So.
Amazing. So everybody go to the Feed the Planet website, Food Heroes, and see
Yeah.
that how you can get involved in your own community.
Yeah, the toolkit's there. It's all there for you, right? We've tried to make it as accessible again as possible, so that anyone who wants to do it, and then share, post if the kids are
Yeah,
allowed, take pictures from the back of them, find out if they have waivers, all the proper things you need to do, but share what you're doing, so then other people will feel encouraged that they can do it as well, right?
absolutely. Now, just talking about it is like the amount of job that has been done by Worldchefs through the Feed the Planet committee with Electrolux Food Foundation with you guys is really just goosebumps, huh? And
Yeah, it's
so
so
now,
fabulous. It's
yeah,
hard to imagine the growth we've had. Like, you
mm,
don't, unless you reflect and do things like this, you don't realize where you've come. When I first started, I honestly wouldn't have been able to uh, define sustainability in full articulation. Like, I would have felt a little nervous talking about it. Now I am just all in. And it's
yeah,
just because the more you do, the more you know. It's like anything, right?
absolutely. And it's getting, as I said earlier, a global recognition. I think each one of these initiatives now they won a global prize.
Lord, yeah, yeah,
And I think we can we could just grow and get better because it's a snowball effect.
yeah, yeah.
So now that you have been with us for quite a while, and now you're sitting in the chairwoman or the chairman. So is there anything specific that you would like to see advance, or you have any specific vision that you would like to push forward for Feed the Planet?
Yeah, so I still want to continue fostering sort of that global movement of sustainability, but I don't want to say things that are pie in the sky and that just sound like superfluous political talk. I want to create tools that are for chefs. Things that are like a sustainable cooking method, how to know which ones are more and less sustainable.
Mm.
Chefs may or may not know that, but really give chefs tools, how to write a menu that is more sustainable. We don't have anything that really articulates that well. And when you're doing that menu writing, how to consider having less waste, or to have cross utilization of product, or have traceable ways to measure energy and water efficiency, because chefs, they don't always.
Mm.
And I want to have a toolkit that is a practical toolkit. Like, picture an actual toolbox. Here's the things you can take out of it. And it's not just big talk, oh, waste less food. Okay. Well, how do I do that? How do I get better at that? So I want to create with our committee inspirational pieces that chefs can take globally and start to really impact change. That's a biggie. I think I wanna tackle, along with inspiring and wanting people
Yeah,
to be a
yeah, yeah.
part of what we
No,
do.
yeah, no, that's a great project, and
Yeah.
I think we have the luck now. We have the IT tools to make it happen.
Yeah.
And, with our expertise, with the network we have with experts, something that we should really be aiming for. And yeah, absolutely. So we are allowing chefs to be more hands-on, and sustainability doesn't just become a concept or a
Yeah.
word that is
Because
popped up in like.
it does. I mean, people say, well, I'm a sustainable chef. I don't waste food. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Like,
Mm,
really, what are you doing? And if you have something that you can do, share it with other people. So we can put that in the toolbox.
yeah,
Like, are
yeah,
you cross-utilizing product? What does that mean on your menu? How does it look? Does it look repetitive? Can you make it look less? And so that's the tools I hope, along with our committee, because we've got a great committee together. I'm so excited to meet with them,
mm.
that are very eager and want to be a part of what we're doing. So those are the pieces we're going to work on. I'm hoping they'll all be excited about it too.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And tackling those issues. Just on that thought of, like, we're talking about how to bring sustainability to the industry, and over your almost 10 years of experience now. What are the biggest challenges in the industry, in our culinary world, when it comes to bringing sustainable practices into the kitchen?
Mm. A lot of times, the barriers are education or accessibility, like
Mm,
really knowing what's going to make it better. And a lot of times it seems very overwhelming to chefs. So they won't do it because they think it's going to be a lot of energy spent or really cost prohibitive. And it's quite the opposite. Once you have these pieces in place, it will actually be more profitable and give you more space and time because you'll have it more structured. So having that education and is one of the key factors. The other thing is sourcing sustainable ingredients. In some countries, it's very traceable. Like in France, I was speaking with a fisherman yesterday at the fish farm we went to from France, and he says their traceability on fish packaging is so thorough. You can find out where it's from. Like it's very strictly governed by the policies in France. In Canada, it is a little less, and in some countries, it's a little less. So it's hard to find. So where good sustainable sources of food are. So knowing the supply chain and understanding that and creating. So I think we need to encourage chefs to create those relationships with the full supply chain,
yeah.
not just the person they're talking to at the front, but going beyond that. So
Mm,
once they have, and they think that again is time prohibitive, but once you have a good source and you know its quality and you know they're unwavering in their integrity, this is when you have beautiful sustainable food coming out of chefs' kitchens.
mm.
So the challenge is finding and creating those relationships, educating chefs, and I mean, there's always the packaging and stuff that suppliers are selling, but that's having the conversation again, right? So those are, I think, a lot of the challenges. Um, Chefs are trying to make strides to make good choices, work locally, but you can't go down to the farmer's market every week and buy food in most restaurants or hotels. You don't have the time for that. But you can work with someone who will deliver it to you once you know you have a good relationship with them, right? And you have those sustainable products.
You do make a good point, actually, when it comes to, well, traceability, and that has a lot to do with politics and
Yeah.
policies. And
Yeah.
we now just have a new president in one of the major economies in Western world, and and
You've seen
and
this, right?
and
I'm not allowed
and
to say
so-
anything.
some of these principles are getting thrown out of the window, uh,
It's
as
so
no
It's
as
so worrisome for so many people, but we have to stay true to our integrity and our white coat and believe in our practices being what they should be. We
mm,
have to make the movement. We have to make the demands. We have to talk to the farmers and the growers and the full food supply chain to keep the progress going that we've gone so far.
mm,
I believe that's how we can affect change as chefs. It
yeah,
is a challenge for sure, but I think it's an opportunity for us to really engage with the people that they're also going to be suffering in farms and fisheries and things like that. So why wouldn't we bring, and again, that collaboration word, we cannot get away from it. Like we want to bring everybody into the fold, right? So
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I was thinking about, the World Chef as a federation, like a United Nation of chefs. I was actually thinking of our presidents of different national associations and their power to reach policymakers.
Yeah.
It's of course not at everyone's fingertips, but within Worldchefs, we have people that work closely with governments, and yeah, our words should be heard. They should be
Yes.
talking to the chefs as an
Yeah.
expert consumer
Yeah,
on this.
we are the experts in our industry. No one knows more about this industry than we do. So why wouldn't we be the ear for the policymakers, right? And get their ear so that they understand what the needs are, what the wants are, what the challenges are, right? So
But yeah, back to your point, the challenge is education, and this is now available to everyone. So
yeah,
everybody listening, worldchefsacademy.com, you will have sustainability education there. People can go through it and then hopefully, get into it. And if they want to be an ambassador in their own community, their own company, reach out to us. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the
Train.
education part of it is really where it's going to grow and where it's going to have the most impact.
Yeah. 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 So that's what we're here for. That's this is World Chefs, and
Sure.
and this is what our challenge in the future will be, and your challenge.
Yes.
But hey, we have an army of
Oh, I stand
committee
up to it
members,
happily.
army of committee members, and Electrolux Food Foundation, and everybody
Yes.
behind. So I mean, it's been an amazing journey. And so I mean, already we mentioned how people can educate themselves, but
Yes.
for our listeners as well, many of our members, they might be thinking, so how can they get involved in Feed the Planet? Uh, you know, what can they start with implementing in their own lives and careers? And we mentioned that a little bit on the sustainability side. But I guess we are also always looking for eager people that have great ideas on any topics. They can reach out.
Yeah, always, always. So never feel that you can't reach out. I mean, I am quite accessible. If you look online, you'll find me quite easily. Uh, I encourage people to look at what we have on the World Chefs website on the Feed the Planet page. There is so much there that is sometimes unnoticed and you don't delve into and say, how can I be a part of things? It will grow you as a chef by understanding what the food waste challenge is, or understanding how to be a food hero delivery person, or becoming a trainer in the curriculum. So these are big ideas, but in the small ideas as a chef, I mean, you start implementing, like take the education yourself, start implementing it into your kitchen, start thinking about food waste, start training your staff on it. The best way is obviously education. That's my perspective, of course. Start small with things in home and then go into your kitchen and then create practices and policies. And if you're looking for a way to implement more change, like you're seeing a lot of waste in your kitchen, what can I do? Reach out to us. We have a group of chefs that really are engaged and love the idea of sustainability and food service and want to help you get better at it. So if we don't have the answers, we have a ton of professionals globally that we reach out to help us develop the curriculum. So we'll just reach out to them, find answers for you, right? We want you to be engaged and think that you're not alone in this world, right? We are united by the chef's coat. You can focus on initiatives like looking at your own energy use in your kitchen, your water use in your kitchen, your food use waste in your kitchen. How are you moving towards a more CO2 friendly menu? I had my students create one at Humber last week. Like they took a standard, one of their favorite homemade dishes, and now make it with a low carbon footprint. And they're like, well, I don't know how to do that. I said, well, there's lots of carbon footprint measuring tools online. So I had them find a good reliable one. Now adjust the menu so that it's at least half the carbon footprint. Now, do you still love the dish? You can't just change it and say it's a low carbon footprint and hope that it's okay. You want to think about the whole picture and make it so that people still want to eat this. Is this still a dish that you recognize and would love and would have again and again? If so, great, you've got a winner. If not, go back to the drawing board and figure out what you can adjust so that it would be better, right? Maybe you use more local products, lessen the amount of meat, change it to half plant-based, half meat, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can do. At home and in your business, you're going to try and think of ways that you lower your consumption, reduce the amount of single-use plastics. Like in your both of those home and work life, you can do all of these things quite easily and still have a great impact. Because as I say every day in every class I have, every choice you make matters. every single choice you make matters. And if you don't believe that, then you're not listening, because we as a united industry can make a huge impact on what's happening in sustainability.
Absolutely. And thanks for those great examples
Mm,
and inspiration. So I think message is clear for everyone. Sign up to worldchefs.org.
yes.
Sign up your account so you get the newsletters, see what we're doing, look at the
Yes.
website, Feed the Planet, see what you can use. Take the World Chefs Academy dot com, the educational
Yes.
sustainability education program for yourself. It's a very easy way to go on your own pace and get a
Yeah.
feeling for it, and then implement and get involved.
Start working on it, right? Think of the ways, where's my deficiencies in the kitchen, or where's the deficiencies in what I'm doing as a chef? There are pieces that we can always improve on. Anytime anyone is doing everything they can, there's still more to do. In a zero waste kitchen, there's still more to do. It's who is your suppliers? How are they sending you food? How is your packaging being dealt with? What's your waste? Where's your waste going? How is that being utilized? Find the gap in the market and make it an opportunity to change, right? So those are those are big ideas for me, but I come back to it and it keeps me focused on what I do every single day. I find ways to implement it, improve in small steps, and every choice you make matters is really what you want to think about.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, Shona, thank you for that talk
Yes.
the the amazing work that has been done and all the inspiration. It's been a great talk, and I'm sure well, I'm sure a lot of people out there are listening and thinking of, what can I do? What can I do? And
Yeah.
this is so important that we are changing behavior and changing people's lives. And
Absolutely. It's looking forward, right? And really thinking about that your ideas matter, your thoughts matter, and your impact matters on the future of our planet. So,
Thank you, Shona. And
okay. Thanks.
thank you all for listening. You're listening to World on a Plate. I'm your host, Ragnar Fredriksson, and this is World Chefs Podcast. So stay tuned for next week. Thank you, Shona, again. Take care, everyone.
Thanks so much, Ragnar.